go back to our top story now, and the protests over France's pension reforms. Let's speak to Nabila Ramdani, who's a French journalist and commentator. We have a sort of sneaking regard in Britain for French strikers, who we see sort of blocking motorways with tractors, stopping the transport networks, and they always get what they want. Are they going to get what they want this time?
I don't think so. I mean, President Sarkozy's popularity rate at the moment is at its lowest since he's been elected in 2007. It's dropped to 30%. He's made it very clear that France, the state, is not ready to pay for an aging population. But he's sticking to his guns, he's adamant, and he's determined to see his reform pushed through. It's due to be rubber-stamped by the Senate tomorrow. And he's not going to back down. He's not just ready to let the unions and the students and other public workers get what they want.
Do you think he may be forced to by members within his own party or the hard-line communist-backed trade unions?
I do not think so. We have seen similar strikes in 1995 and 2006 over the pension reform, and back then the governments had to back down. Now what's happening is we have a very strong and forceful president who, remember, was elected in 2007 under the slogan, work more to earn more. He's claimed to revolutionize his country just like Margaret Thatcher did in Britain in the 1980s. And he sees this reform as an opportunity to smash powerful trade unions and thus cement his place in history.
They're saying, the trade unions are saying that the French social model, whatever that is, you have to explain it to us, is under threat. And I also wonder whether the pain now could well be the gain in 2 years' time with the French presidential elections.
I think what the French social model is about is not only protesting against a pension reform, really, but an attempt to protect a very typical French way of life, which is associated with long lunch hour breaks, the 35-hour week, and also long summer holidays. So the unionists...
Yep, that's under threat, all right.
They see it as a threat to what they see as a typically French model, which stands out in the European Union. But clearly, President Sarkozy is a wily politician. He sees it as very timely to get tough and push through his reform, and he's got time enough to become popular again in time for a bid for the 2012 elections.
And he's got time too, hasn't he? Because the legislation, as I read, should be through by Friday, and then next week French school holidays. And if there's one thing trade unionists won't do, is declare strikes during school holidays, because they don't want those.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's very timely. It's a late midterm reform, but it's President Sarkozy is determined to get this pension reform pushed through, and the weather is very poor at the moment as well. Students are going to enjoy their holidays and go back to schools afterwards, and everything will go back in order afterwards. But it will, I think, lead the French to do a bit of soul searching and think about their place within the wider European context. And this is, in the end, a protest against a capitalist model and an Anglo-Saxon model. So the French will have to do a bit of soul searching.
Which, of course, pays for their French model.
Indeed.
All right, thanks very much, Nabila.